Hi friends, it's Terry Stewart, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, located in the U.S. in Central Maryland. Welcome to I guess it's the March 2026 edition of our bundle bonus. We have 3 bundles this month, and I am working with the Easter basket bundle. So I'm really excited to share my fun fold card with you. Let's get started. So as I said earlier, the bundle I'm using this month is the Easter basket bundle, which comes with a stamp set of 12 stamps and dies, coordinating dies. There's 15 dies. And I love bunnies. So that was the first thing that drew me to this set, was you have 2 bigger bunnies, a little chocolate bunny. Of course, you have some Easter greetings, Hello Spring, which I love, and this For You. And I also used that For You on a Valentine, so it was kind of versatile. And then you have some other Easter symbols, the egg, a little chick, and then some spring images. The flower here, kind of like a tulip, this little group of flowers. So I find it very versatile. And the dies, you can cut the bunnies and the chocolate bunnies, the little chick, the carrot, the group of flowers, the egg, and then there's some other images that you get. This Easter basket, you can put a little, I guess, like trim on it. There's some grass. These are little lines that you can weave into the basket. And then there's a flower that's like a daffodil. So today, the images that I am going to use are this daffodil, the stem, and this flower, the grass, and then the negative when you cut this basket out. So let me show you my fun fold card, and then we can talk more about that. So here's my fun fold card. It has this DSP that's an online exclusive, Splash of Sparkle, so I encourage you to go out and check out the online exclusives. And there's the flower that I talked about, the greeting, this Hello Spring, and this is a fun fold. So it's a mini card on top of a regular card. So the mini card says Hello Spring, and when you open it, it tells you Easter's on the way, and we have a bunny with 2 chicks. And then when you open the bigger card, it says Happy Easter with another one of these flowers. So let me set some of this aside and show you the ingredients. Now the ingredients, this bundle bonus comes with a PDF, and everyone who's made a card for it will have a supply list. There'll be photos and cutting instructions. So I'm not going to give those cutting instructions here, but you can request the demonstrator who you belong to, who is in this group, and they can provide you with that PDF, and it'll have both the metric and the imperial measurements. So I'm starting with my card base. This is a soft sea foam. It's a half a sheet scored in half. Another piece of soft sea foam that I have scored in half. A piece of basic white, and that's our inside of our large card. This is a piece of that Splash of Sparkles DSP, specialty DSP. It has, you can see the gold foiling, or holographic. I think this is gold and holographic, comes with this paper pack. And then a piece of basic white that goes in the inside the mini card. And then I need some scraps. So I'm using the bubble bath to cut from, and that's this little stripe here that goes under the Hello Spring. I have crushed curry and Daffodil Delight, and that's for the flower images. Granny Apple Green, which is the stem for those flowers, and then I've got a piece of basic white to cut out an Easter basket. So let me put my, let's do some die cutting first. So this is the die, Easter basket dies. Now I tend to save when I have extra pieces. I save them. So I made this cute little Easter basket box with the dies, and I cut out the basket, and then I cut out these colors to weave through with this die, and I had extras of those, so I left it in here. And we are going to use this is the negative from the basket, the part that gets cut out here, and I'm going to use that. So I've already cut one of those out. I had cut out an extra of the grass, which we're going to put under our, or put our flower. So let me put that there. And this is all dies cuts that I've already made. There's the stems. And you got some of those. Let's see what else. I've already cut out the flowers. So one I had done in Daffodil Delight and the other in Crushed Curry, and it comes in 2 pieces. So let me show you this. So here's the flower, and then it cuts, the same die cuts a piece that's slightly bigger to put behind. So one of them, this one is the base is Daffodil Delight and the back is Crushed Curry, and then I did the opposite with this one, put the Daffodil Delight on that. So that's a very handy little die that cuts both pieces at once. And these are the pieces that get woven through the basket, and I'm going to use that as an accent. And one more stem. There we go. So it's really handy to keep when you have extras. And this little cellophane bag is the bag, I think I came with my dimensionals. I love dimensionals, and so I just put the extras in here. There's a bunny you see that I have cut out, and there's also a carrot. Let me get the carrot out so you can see that. So I'll just save these extra pieces in this little bag, and maybe in the future I don't need to cut some die cut so much. And then I'll stick these. So I think that's it, because everything is already cut. So these are going to go back in a folder. This is the new packaging. So it's a larger envelope now, and then the front you can see the all the dies, images of all the dies. So very handy to have. And then I'm just going to stick my bag back in here for future use. Handy. All right, so there's the little basket. I showed you where this piece would go. We'll set that aside. I've already cut out the basket. We cut out the stems, cut out the daffodil heads in Daffodil and Crushed Curry, and the bubble bath for this little ribbon piece. So now we can move on to stamping. So let me put all this, bring all this down here to the corner, and bring back our supplies. So for the stamping, oh, wait a second, wait one second. So I do still need a scrap of white because I'm going to stamp this Hello Spring. So that's my scrap. This is the inside of the mini card, and then this is the inside of the card base. So let me stick everything here so we don't lose anything. So let's start with the inside piece, and that's going to be Happy Easter. And I'm using Memento ink and my Happy Easter. Now this greeting is a little bit longer, so I've just put a diagonal on my block, and that's sometimes I find can help you, because then you have to rely on looking through the block and the clear stamp to line it up, and not rely on the block and maybe stamp crooked. So there's her Happy Easter. So that is done, and then we're going to stamp Let's stamp on our scrap piece, and that is going to be the Hello Spring. It's just little font. I really like that. And just stamp right here. We're going to fussy cut this, so I'm just going to use an edge or near the edge so I can make my fussy cut easier. So that is done. And now we're going to do the inside of the mini card. So let's stamp our bunny first at the bottom so we can adjust if we need to make room for the Easter's on its way greeting. So let me ink this up, and we are going to color this bunny with, add some color to him, not fully color him, with Stampin' blends. So he's going to be towards the bottom, kind of centered. There we go. And now the little chick, his friend. And I put these at different heights on purpose to kind of do some foreground. And so I'll put one lower on the left. And then one's going to be higher on the right. There we go. Cute. And now we can bring in our Easter's on its way. So I feel like this tells you a story. The front of the card says, Hello Spring, and then Easter's on its way, and then Happy Easter. So it's almost like a little storybook, right? At least in my mind. And now Easter's on its way. We'll do that towards the top. Make sure it's even and not crooked. I think that's going to be right where we want it. Yes, perfect. Okay, and that is all the stamping. So let's do some coloring. And for the bunny and his ears, I'm using the light Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to use the bullet end tip just to add some color to his inside of his ear and his nose. And then we're going to move on to the chicks, and I'm going to do the color those using the Daffodil Delight, the light and the dark. So I'm going to start with the dark, and again the bullet tip that gives you a little bit of control. And I like to do some up here, do some around the neck, some little coloring, his wings, and then we'll do the same here. So give a little bit of top hair around the chin, the wings. Just kind of fill those in, maybe a little bit down here at the bottom of the body. So that was with dark Daffodil Delight, and now I'm coming with the light one, and again the bullet end, and just go over where the dark is, and it kind of just smooths it out a little bit, and then over the wings, the body. We'll do the same for the other one. Putting the wings. And as you go over that darker color, the transition between it kind of just melts away. And the last, I wanted to do the beak. This is pumpkin pie. This is dark pumpkin pie. I'm going to do the big, and then the legs I'm going to do with the light pumpkin pie. Again, the bullet tip, and just kind of go over, give some little color on the feet. And the last thing I'm going to bring in some balmy blue because I want to kind of put a shadow under these ducks, and just a little circle. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Like that, and then the bunny, the same thing. bring a little shadow under him, and then this little duck. Again, kind of a circle, and it just kind of grounds them, gives a little shadow. I like that. Okay, and then so that part is done, and then on the front, I did for the grass, the die cut. It looked kind of plain to me, so I'm going to add some light old olive to that, just to give it some depth. So I'm going to use the brush tip for this one and just kind of go over the tips of it. It doesn't have to be perfect, just want to add a little bit of color to it. Yep, that's it. It just gives you a variation in color. So now we can start assembling, and I'm going to start with my card base. This soft sea foam. Again, you can refer to that PDF for measurements in both imperial and metric. So I'm going to crisp up the score line with my bone folder. So, and then I'm going to adhere the DSP. It's this beautiful DSP. That splash of sparkles. I love that holographic. I'm a real sucker. And the other side has almost like a watercolor wash. Very pretty. Sometimes it's difficult to know which color to you want to use on the front. I went with this kind of a pastel. It just reminded me of Easter. That's our inside, our outside, and then our part for the inside here, our Happy Easter. It's kind of the end of the story. You say hello spring, and then Easter's on its way, and then Happy Easter. So just set that in there, and now our flowers. So we have this die cut, and you can see it has some stitching going on, so it gives it some texture. I really like that. And where's our flower? So this is the darker daffodil. I'm going to show you the inside of this card, the sample, so we can I'm going to tilt it a little bit to the right, and then put the daffodil kind of growing up towards the Easter. And with the glue, I'm using a small amount. I don't want it to ooze out, so I'm being very cautious about how much I put down. So tilt that somewhat to the right, and then our flower, again, not putting too much, so I don't want the glue to ooze out. So just a little dab will do ya. And then the flower is going to also tilt to the right. Okay, so our inside is done. And now we can work on our mini card. So let me bring in this piece, which has been scored, that soft sea foam. What is that? And again, I'm going to bring in my bone folder to crisp up that score line. On the inside of that is our Easter's on its way with our bunny and his two little chickie friends. So cute little mini card. And just center right, left, top, bottom. And put these pieces up here. Get our flower and the grass. So I'm going to dry fit this right now. So this is the piece from the basket, the negative. Put our flower somewhat in the center of that. Our daffodil. And then the grass that we've added a little bit of the old olive blends to. That's going to be cover the base. This little strip from our die cut, the basket weave, is going to go here. We'll just snip off the whatever overhangs, and now we have to fussy cut this little bit of spring. And so I'm just going to hold my scissors in my right hand and trim somewhat close and give it a little up and down where the words go up and down. Come across in the hello, the L's go up, and go down, up. And then come around that H, same thing, up and down here, up and down, and then around the H again, round it out. Okay, and there's our hello spring. So let's do some assembling again now that we've dry fitted. So this is the negative from the basket. I think it's kind of cute. It almost looks like a beehive, so there might be other things to use this on. Put it towards the top. It's going to slide a little bit. Yeah, that's a good thing about using glue. And then our stem, again, being careful not to over glue so the glue squirts out. We just want a little bit to tack it down really. And right in the middle, the base will be covered by the grass. So here's the die cut assembled. I've glued that darker piece to the back of this daffodil die cut. And again, using glue so it's not oozing out. And then the grass that we added some blending to give it a little bit of interest, kind of soften that stark color. And I'm just putting a little bit on the top of the fringe of the grass, and it will fit perfectly. I'll follow the bottom, the curve of that die cut. There we go. And next is our strip that's a ribbon, and on about there. And again, just a very fine bead of glue so it doesn't ooze out. There we go. And we'll trim off any excess. I am using the grid paper to help me get that straight across. There we go. And then with my paper snips, just trim off the excess. Voila! And then the hello spring, I'm just going to center that. might be easier just to put the glue on the card, on that strip. And then center that. Perfect. And we're almost done. Now we'll put, the final touch is to add the mini card to our card base. I am going to be doing a brief catalog tour if you stick around to the end, and I'll explain where all the products that I've used in this project, where you can locate them in the January to April mini catalog and the annual catalog. And this mini card is centered on the card front. And I'm just eyeballing it. Okay, there we go. There you have it. Easter, hello spring. Easter's on its way. And then on the inside, happy Easter. And now for that catalog tour I promised. Here is the mini catalog, January to April 2026. On page 35, this is where you can find the Easter basket stamp set and the coordinating dies. The paper I use is an online exclusive called Sparkles, Splash of Sparkles, or you could also use this paper, this Pleasant Patterns paper, but no, that's the pattern paper. This is Easter Joy, and that would work just as well. It's those pastel colors. And the catalog, the annual catalog, ends through April 2026. The white cardstock is right here, and then we change. That's page 137. And if you turn the page, this is where you'll find the soft sea foam cardstock, the balmy blue Stampin' blends. This is page 138. And then we have here Granny Apple Green cardstock, Daffodil Delight cardstock, the Stampin' blends for that, Daffodil Delight, Pumpkin Pie blends, Flirty Flamingo blends. And then here on page 139 is the old, was Crushed Curry cardstock and the Old Olive Stampin' blends. I think that's all the blends. Yeah. So there you go, a quick catalog tour. Thank you so much for joining me for this bundle bonus in March 2026 with the Easter basket bundle. And I hope you enjoyed my mini card fun fold. If you have any questions, get with the demonstrator who invited you to this group. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you'll be notified next time I bring you another fun stamping project. And until next time, remember, stamping is fun. Bye.